Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and it's time to mask up, America. You heard me. Mask up, all of you. 300 plus million of us. Mask up, America. Mask up, mask up, mask up. And Zombie Joe, his handlers, and Kamala Vampiress are now calling for your patriotic duty of wearing a mask nationwide. Now, I want you to think about this just for 1 second. No matter what you think about the mask issue, wherever you are in this country, do you now believe that more than half of us want to wear a mask? Want to be told to wear a mask? Do you believe that? Even if you're Masky McGee, how many people have pushed back on you? And yet, that is going to be one of the major platforms of Zombie Joe 2020. Think about that. Think about all these weird hashtags that are going around. Biden-Harris landslide 2020. What are you on? If you actually believe and have done the mental gymnastics that more than half of the country wants to be mandated to wear a mask at all times in public once they leave their house, when we already see in this country there's a push to have people wear their masks in their house on Zoom meetings, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. We are living in the zombie apocalypse, folks. So I want to show you Zombie Joe. And Zombie Joe, I didn't know this, but 3 days ago when he introduced Kamala Vampiress, he gave some sort of a speech. I don't know that they allowed questions afterwards, but I'm going to watch the whole thing, and maybe we'll have a Zombie Joe watch along, because it's so evident that, I mean, he can barely read things. He can barely read things properly. He can't go 90 seconds without a Zombie Joe moment. That's all I'm going to say. So before we get into the mask issue, we're also going to have some good news on this. People are pushing back a little bit in New York. We're going to show you some zombie New York news. And then people have now pushed back that private companies are going to say, you know what, we're going to have the World Trade Center lights. Thanks, Cuomo. I know you didn't want to put the state workers in danger. We're going to do it anyway. Thank you. So a little bit of pushback in New York. It's good news. All right, guys, thumbs the video up, subscribe, share, join the Burmis Brigade, ring the bell, and if you can, $5, $10, $15, it means the world to me. Big donors, need you more than ever. They've deemed me harmful content here. We're working on 4 months plus demonetized and 3+ months of us reviewing for that. Check out all the documentaries. They're free in the playlist section. Again, thumbs it up. Check me out on Rockfin. The t-shirt store is down below. Your life matters. Your skin color shouldn't have to. That's the shirt I'm trying to push right now. And let's start with that good news, because this is good news, huh? New York City annual 9/11 The Light will continue as a charity teams up with city officials to recreate the iconic display after it was canceled due to coronavirus fears. No, this is about control. It's not about a fear of coronavirus. Let's be honest right now. Everything in New York is now selective enforcement. It's all window dressing. Cuomo said yesterday they could serve alcohol and food with people at bowling lanes. We got to shut down every other one. I saw you, if you watched me earlier today, you saw the LARP on Main Street. Maybe we're going to play some of that in the background today as I show you this ridiculous letter from my spineless mayor who's lockstep with Cuomo, who's lockstep with Mask Up America, Zombie Joe, and Kamala Harris. How he's ruined my Main Street, okay? How he's got a fake 1950s party to shut off Main Street. Main Street should be booming today as the kids move in. My next door neighbors are moving in, right? But no. It's not booming. It's zombie town with businesses that will eventually go under because of it. And that's the point. That is the point. The point is about control, and you better believe it. Okay, so here's Zombie Joe calling for a nationwide mask mandate, and then he's doubling down today where be a patriot. Be a patriot. Roll your sleeve up for an unproven vaccine and be a patriot. Keep your business closed and go out of business. You know, I go to the local Salvation Army. I go for the bargains like this. You know, wireless mics at $8.99. Old video game systems. I got like a 2600 over there. You know, I'm a collector like that. And plus, I get a lot of the equipment here. So, you know, like for instance, I got this very, very nice lens right here. You won't even believe what I paid for. It's $9. It costs a lot more. So anyway, I'm there, and I'm talking to a buddy of mine who hasn't seen me since I went across the country, and we're talking about it, and I'm like, man, if I could be, I'd be in my car today. I'm really hoping my sister gets things together and we can leave by next week. And the guy next to us, who's got a cart, who's just putting stuff out, he's like, yeah, man, they ruined my business. I can't believe this. I can't believe they're shutting down Main Street. What's happening? What's happening? And I'm telling you what's happening. We got a visible zombie. They got a zombie runner. They got no respect for you. And then they install Kamala Harris, who couldn't poll at 1%, who got eaten alive by Tulsi Gabbard, and they know it. So SUNY Oneonta has had to put out actions they're going to take, right? And it's ridiculous. They're going to have to sign these pledges. They're going to have to supposedly restrict themselves and stay 6 feet away at markers. I don't know how they're going to enforce any of this stuff, but selectively. And again, try to make examples of people. I mean, look at this thing. Containment, installation, and quarantine. When you go down, I'm talking about, look at this. Return to campus. I mean, you name it. So anyway, we'll show, and again, let's show you the LARPing. We'll take the volume off here. Because who knows, I don't want to get a copyright strike anyway. So here's my empty street, and I'm going to start walking down on it. And you'll see how terrible it is. Just nobody on it. They got these little canopies up. You'll see they're empty over here too. And then they got safety stations, literal safety stations, guys, that with hand sanitizer and cloth masks. I mean, that's what we need right there, the safety station right there. It's protecting nobody. And again, this would be a bumping little time. It's the middle of summer. Instead, you know, let's jump over to my old bar here. Instead, nobody's in there. It's sad, man. And then when I go in, I got to have some dry hot dog in front of me. I've shown you the hot dogs, or a corn dog if I want to go to the next place. I mean, look at this. We got, I counted it off, but there was like 20 people on Main Street. Ooh, there'd be 40 people in one shop. I mean, I can't even tell you how many people would be in the bar with their parents. There's the safety station. Hand sanitizer and masks. That's keeping us safe. Give me a break. So let's read about this sacrifice that everybody's going to have to make that's already made it. Okay? Again, why doesn't this man sacrifice the fact that he's spineless and step down, sacrifice the position, because he obviously can't stand up and say, we're not going to go by this, and I'm done LARPing and lying, and we're just going to do our thing, and the businesses aren't going to have to go out of business, because they were already struggling before this, because New York has ridiculous taxes and already had authoritarianism and corruption. Whether you are new or returning student, I look forward to having you join us as part of the Oneonta community. You couldn't care less. As mayor of the city of Oneonta, I welcome you to our community. We value your presence, and you enrich our community in many ways. Unfortunately, this year will be like no other in our history. As we speak, communities across our country are being ravaged by COVID-19, and lives are being lost. The reality is, no, they're being ravaged by what you've done to their businesses, what you've done to their schools. The hospitals are not overrun. Okay, we now have authoritative sources that have told us that steroid treatments work, right? So, you know, the death rate hasn't creeped up. This is, again, by the let's go with those WHO, World Health Organization standards. We better put this up here. 99.6 survival rate. 99.6% WHO. Okay? Are you kidding me? That's not coming up? So I have to type in COVID? Come on. Man. Yeah, 0.4. It was at 0.4% before. Okay? So now it's at 0.6%. This was in May. I just want to say that. This was in May. Okay? This was in May. That's the CDC estimate is 0.4. The WHO's current is 0.6. So no one's being ravaged, okay, at this point. And I'm not saying you want it. I'm not saying it's not real. But when Bill Gates can get up there and cackle around and be super happy about all of it, right? And then also tell you in the same breath that our tests are garbage, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Small cities and rural communities have not been immune. Through shared sacrifice, the people of Oneonta, the shared sacrifice, that's lovely. The people of Oneonta have succeeded in keeping our number of COVID cases low. During the past 5 months, okay? Mid-March is when you did this to us. 5 months. Stop with the 4 months. Put this out the other day, okay? Oh, man. Man, it makes me so mad. We have sacrificed nightlife, socializing with friends, eating out, and for many, even their jobs. I will now ask you to join us in the spirit of shared sacrifice. The spirit of shared sacrifice. You listen to this guy? He's already on a retirement plan. He didn't have a job before this. He's still getting his local government money. It's not mine. I think it's like $14K to be the mayor here. But he's not worried about it. Shared sacrifice. As we recently begun to see a small increase in new cases. Bullshit. And by the way, there's going to be an increase in new cases all over the place now. They've rigged that up. That's why they're pushing for universities to come back, but then scaring you about smaller schools. And let me explain this to you. The universities are going to have to test. Okay? And that means there will be positives because there's so many people that are asymptomatic. And they're gonna strike you with fear right out of the gates. You watch. We're at the end of August. By mid-September, watch the spikes all over the place from colleges. All right? So shared sacrifice. We have to protect each other. The stakes are high. We all must continue to sacrifice. Come on. I just... Both Hartwick College and SUNY Oneonta are implementing comprehensive plans designed to keep you safe while on campus. So what? You don't think that 18, 24-year-olds are going to socialize? They're not going to party. They're not going to have sex with each other. Like, what dream world are we living in? I mean, come on. To prevent the spread of COVID-19, you are being required to sacrifice many of the things that make college experience meaningful. Visiting friends. I mean, are we in cartoon world? You can't visit friends. Eating with friends. Group activities. I hope the first day that 6,000 people are back here, there's full-on football games going on in the park. Let's go. Let's go. Socializing, athletics, in-person classrooms, and so much more. I know how difficult this will be, and I want to thank you for your cooperation and sense of community. Cooperation and sense of community. Give me a break. And remember, they're going to try to selectively enforce judicial action. These people have signed off anything. I don't even want to read. We're going to do it. While your college presidents assume the responsibility of keeping you safe on campus, I assume the responsibility to keep you safe in our communities, please. You're keeping no one safe. You're keeping no one safe. In fact, you're hurting people. You are hurting people by not standing up to the tyranny and saying we will not comply and not taking our local sheriff who doesn't want to go along with this either, and our local chief officer, chief police, you know it, and saying we're not going to comply. And if the state troopers come to try to impose draconian laws, call us. You could have done that. What would you have sacrificed, Gary? 14K? Huh? Because you're sacrificing your soul as a human being right now. Let's face it, it makes no sense for you to sacrifice so much when you are on campus if the same approach is not taken when off campus. I got news for you. They're not going to abide by it on campus. Why are we play acting? Why are we acting like what goes on in a dorm is going to be any different? I mean, again, we all have to act like, natural things aren't going to happen. Why are we acting that way? It's unbelievable. Oh, the virus doesn't care where you are. The virus doesn't respect boundaries or property lines or paper masks. Unless you got a P3, which most people don't, Gary. Yeah, it doesn't respect those either. If we fail to exercise the same controls off campus as being experienced on campus, we will then fall in our responsibility to protect you and protect our entire community. Step down. And anybody that would put something out for their local community like this, step down. It's time to stand up. Again, private citizens stood up and said, no, we're going to have the 9/11 Light Memorial. We need more of that. Because otherwise, we're going to have Zombie Joe and Kamala Vampiress mandating masks in 95-degree weather in South Dakota. That's where all this is going. And I know there's a controversy with USPS and whether they're going to defund the post office. You know what? If that stops a totally corrupt mail-in voting system, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Most things are digital anyway, right? Most of us use UPS for anything else. Everything we get in the mail is usually bills, right? Which we also get via email or on our phone. So I'm fine with it. I don't want massive voting fraud. And Cuomo's already said he's all for it. I will sign that executive order that we can have mail-in votes. And again, they have the fear on the schools, the smaller ones, because those are polling stations in most places. Right? Those are places where people vote. I mean, if people can't see it at this point, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm not a MAGA cheerleader, but they're installing Kamala Harris and whoever they want after that. In your face. Zombie Joe isn't even Sleepy Joe, isn't even Joey B at this point. It's over. So thumbs it up, subscribe and share. Again, guys.
And Fred, new at 5, CDC data raising some concerns and questions about just how deadly the coronavirus is. We know it's had a catastrophic impact on our country, killing nearly 100,000 Americans. But a new estimate from the CDC indicates a smaller percentage of people die from the virus than previously reported. WCNC Charlotte's Alex Shabbat is live on the story for us. Looking into the story, he's in South End with what he's found.
Well, we're not sharing this data to minimize the major impact of this virus, but it does go to show how much we still don't know. From the very beginning, there have been questions about how coronavirus compares to the flu. In March, top U.S. health official Dr. Anthony Fauci said COVID-19 is far deadlier.
The flu has a mortality of 0.1%. Sure. This has a mortality of 10 times that.
Okay, so no matter what you believe.
Much lower mortality rate for COVID-19 than previously reported. Based on known cases, the World Health Organization reported about 3.4% of people with the virus have died. But the latest CDC estimate is about 10 times less than that.
The experts were expecting it to be much greater.
But nurse practitioner Vera...
Let's just stop it there. Again, this is CDC estimates. This is mainstream. I guess it started, so why not play it? But that's my point. But they want, again, and it's probably much lower than that. Remember, we're going to have a spike in cases because they're going to do all these draconian tests on all these kids. They're probably already making them sign draconian pledges to take draconian vaccines. And if Joey B and company, he's not even Joey B, Zombie Joe and company want full-on masks, no thank you. So again, fully demonetized here. $5, $10, $15, it means the world to me. Big donors, thank you so much. Check out the documentaries. They're free in the playlist section. Thumbs it up, subscribe and share. Join the Burmers Brigade. 56,000 strong. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Rockfin, we do it there as well. We got the t-shirt shop. This is the one I'm into right now. I got to put up more. Guys, I love you. I'll see you on the flip.